It's time for Talking Sports, Birmingham's only weekly sports update to put you in the game. Winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Now, here is your winning action host, Kip Keefer, and the legend.
Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? It is Saturday morning. You know what that means. It's another weekend of sports, baby. And we're here on the set of Talking Sports, and we are sponsored by the Birmingham Greyhound, ladies and gentlemen. If you ain't been out to the course, you get out there today. I'm with my man, Kip Keefer. We're still reeling from the Kentucky Derby. Kip, how are you feeling, brother?
I feel good. It's been a week. I'm over it.
You over it? You over it?
Well, no, not
No,
really.
they ain't over it, ladies and gentlemen. And you see that I got the football in my hand. And yes, we are going to talk football today. We're going to break down some of the early games and tell you the winners to get those bills paid this year. But I am with my man today, and we're going to start the first segment off about talking what everybody's talking about. How horrible was the Kentucky Derby? It was horrible, ladies and gentlemen. Kip, turn loose and tell us, what is your opinion of this Kentucky Derby?
Well, I have had a very interesting week. I've heard from everybody I've ever known and a lot of people that I never will know, and everybody wants to know, what does Kip Keefer think about what happened in the Derby?
Turn it loose.
I'm going to cut it loose. You can ask me if the right call was made.
Was it made, Kip?
No, hell no. Terrible call. Worst call in history of sports. 144 years of Kentucky Derby tradition. Never, ever was a disqualification in the Kentucky Derby, dating back to 1875, legend. And this time, this group of bureaucrats decides, well, we don't really care what horse was much the best in the Derby. We're going to decide that the horse that ran 2 lengths behind is the official winner, and we're going to take the winner who led every step of the way and put him back to 17th place. That's what the decision they made. Now, without getting in, and there's so many aspects to this, and I'm interested to hear your follow-up questions, but let me just say this. You cannot criticize the actual decision from the standpoint of, were they able to do that by the rules? Yes, they were. You know, you can make that call, but the thing is, you should not make the call, because old school judges, the guys I learned under, and I'm a certified professional racing judge, went to the University of Arizona program to get my official certificate, so I'm not a layman here. I had no betting interest in the race in terms of how it came out, and you know, a lot of people's opinion on the race is based on whether they cashed or not. A lot of people, you know, I've read a couple articles of guys saying it was absolutely the right call. Well, I made $4,500,
yeah,
but
sure
yeah, of course it's the right call
Yes,
there.
definitely.
But here's the thing: if you get real technical and look at the racing rule, the rule of racing says if a horse swerves or deviates his path and interferes or obstructs another horse, that horse, and this is the key word, may be disqualified by the judges. It doesn't say shall, it says may. The reason it says may is simple. It gives the judges discretion to make a judgment call. This isn't a black and white A and B kind of a thing. This is where old school judges will tell you that they'll look at a race and they will make a determination, did the action of this horse alter the outcome of the race? I say it did not. War of Will was the horse that was directly interfered with. He had already cut over a few strides before Maximum Security did the same thing. War of Will was not going to outfinish Maximum Security if they ran around 5 more times. Not to mention the fact that the 2 closers in the race that ran second and third, who got pushed up to first and second, on the outside Country House. On the inside, of course, you had the 13 horse. They were both coming on. War of Will wasn't going to outfinish either one of them either. Code of Honor. I had a momentary lapse there. But if we can go to the footage, this is the super slow motion of the race. And I just want you to watch and see exactly what is going on here. You will see Maximum Security, the 7 horse, down on the rail, eventually move out a little bit and obstruct War of Will. But old school judges are going to make a call based on, did that alter the outcome of the race? And I say it absolutely did not. War of Will was not going to catch anybody. He faded back to 7th. You can argue that he lost a length or two in this fracas, but this race was going to finish just like it was right here. In fact, Maximum Security ran the fastest quarter mile in the last part of the race that he did in the first 3. So he had plenty left in the tank. He was the best horse. This is an unfortunate situation, and I completely disagree with the call.
Well, let me ask you this, Kip. Did the fact that the field was so large, 20 horses, Kip, it looked like the cavalry coming down the track when they came to corner 1, and the field and the course was horrible. Somebody said they should have covered it. Where are these factors that should have been factored in on this move?
Absolutely. Okay. It's great to have 20 horses in America's biggest racing spectacle. That's a great thing. It's more money, it's more opportunity. It encourages big money people that want to own horses to get in the game because you got a shot if you spend enough and get lucky to have a horse run on the first Saturday in May. All of the business reasons to have 20 horses, it makes sense. And not to mention the fact with 20 betting interests, you had over $160 million worldwide bet on this one race. So all of that is because of the big field. But with the big field, if you're going to make concessions for business, you have to make concessions to the fact that in a 20-horse race, you're going to have all kinds of calamity and bumping and grinding and cutting off and obstruction. How come, Legend, in the first half of a race, you hear all the time, well, my horse got clobbered, he got knocked around, he was blocked, he was taken wide. All that's fine. It's, Bill Mott, the trainer of the eventual Winter Country House, said, well, any chance War of Will had was taken away by that move by Maximum Security. Well, why is it any different in the first 100 yards of the race where every other horse's compromised chances are taken away because of bumps and grinds? It's just got to be an accepted fact. If this is a battle royal, it's going to be a battle royal. There's going to be traffic problems.
Well, Dale Jr. said that's just racing,
That's
Chip.
right.
That's
Rubbing is
just
racing.
That's rubbing is racing. At least till you get to the last, half of the race, I would think, with 20 horses that has to all run down and get into a line. Who are these little wizard of a men in the back room making these decisions? And how big of a black eye is this to horse racing, Kip?
Well, it's really kind of an interesting issue because you've got a lot of people that say, well, it was the right call. There's no two ways about it. So you've got a camp of people that say, this is a great thing for horse racing. It shows we've got such total integrity. But, eventually in all sports, and we're going to talk about this in the second segment, the officials deciding the outcome of events is not a good long-term strategy for horse and the multi-billion-dollar sports industry. It's not a good thing. You asked a pertinent question, too, before, and we'll let this go. Why wasn't the track sealed? Traditionally, in a major rainstorm, the first thing you do is get the equipment and seal the track as tight as you can, almost pack it down so it doesn't get all gooey and mushy and just loose. But they did not do that. It was 76 minutes between the 11th race and the Derby. They just let it pour on the track, and it was an absolute quagmire. Talk about compromising horses' chances.
Really? And injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. Half the horses
a
in
shame,
the race.
Kentucky Derby.
None of these horses ever run on anything like that. And they
really,
the splashback and all the stuff in the face of the horses pursuing, that was a huge factor. So don't tell me about somebody's chances being compromised. Every circumstance, and that is what horse racing is. You got to deal with what you got to deal with. But this call to me was appalling. Let's talk real quick, though, about the betting aspect. I've got a graphic here of a ticket from, I'm calling this shoulda, coulda, woulda, because this race, actually, with everything that happened, was hittable. This is my son's ticket.
Oh, wow.
And if you look at the bottom line there, that's all the horses that were in the play. All 4 of the eventual horses are there. Country House, you can talk about him being 62-1. He was on the official Kiefer ticket.
Wow,
he was a horse that we've talked about him on the show before. He's got a lot of ability. He just was kind of kind of a intellectually challenged horse, let's put it that way. But he ran a great race. We have Code of Honor here. We've got Improbable, who ran third.
Yes.
And remember, I love the 8 Tacitus to run on the board. I said his running style is going to compromise his chance of winning because he's got to weave in and out of traffic. I didn't think he was going to be able to win the race, but he did hit the ticket. The fact of the matter is, we had the right numbers, we just didn't put them together right. And did you see the payoffs? A $1 trifecta, $11,000.
Wow.
A $1 superfecta, $51,000.
Wow, $51,000.
I'm sick, Legend. I'm just sick.
Whew, you keep watching, and you're going to win that kind of money. We're going to go to break here in just a second, but I'm going to turn Kiefer loose again. The wild man is going crazy up in the studio this morning. Come on back with Talking Sports. We finna get after some officials when we get back.